who's a fraud. He's a big ass fraud.
20 wins, 20 knockouts, 0 defeats. The first Indian boxing world heavyweight champion in history. A man nicknamed the KO King with wins on
What the heck? This is so fake. What the heck is this?
Indian boxing world heavyweight champion in history. A man nicknamed the KO King with...
Bro, what the heck is this? This is such shitty acting. This is like the wrestling acting.
First Indian
like, bro, you're telling me
boxing world heavyweight champion in history. A man nicknamed the KO King.
You're telling me, oh, someone's going like, oh, basically, order you back. Dude, that shit came slow. He could have easily dodged. Could have easily went down and back. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, oh. Guys, somehow it was like, bro, look at this shit.
With wins on 3 different continents.
Yo, that shit looked weak.
And official recognition from the WBF and WBO, with a
he probably paid them.
Reputation fierce enough that former world champion Joseph Parker was desperately avoiding having to fight him. To put it simply, Rohit Singh was the best Indian origin boxer in the history of the sport. But there was
who faked his entire career.
Just one problem. It was all a complete and utter lie. From fake wins that never occurred to the most audaciously rigged fight you will ever watch, Rohit Singh's unrelenting lies of boxing excellence most audaciously rigged fight you will ever watch. Rohit Singh's unrelenting lies of boxing excellence to the most audaciously rigged fight you will ever watch. Rohit Singh's unrelenting lies.
Hey, yo. Not even gonna, bro. Like, bro, this shit is so obvious. Heck, I did not even throw a punch and still KO someone. How the fuck does that even work?
Of boxing excellence led him on a multi-year campaign of fakery in an attempt to try and con his way into a big money fight by any means necessary. This video tells the story.
In the big money fight, he's gonna lose and basically, oh, this guy does not know how to fight. After he loses, and people are gonna clown him. You're losing. I don't think he cares though.
Of Rohit Singh, the most bizarre and ridiculous fake record fraud in boxing history. Before beginning the video, I want to acknowledge the amazing 5-part series produced by The Stuff out of New Zealand on the story of Rohit Singh. This is not a well-known story, and their series was pretty much the only source I could find to help piece this video together. So for more detail on the Rohit Singh story, I'd strongly encourage you to check out the link to their work in the description below. Let's get into the video. Where this story begins depends who you believe. Rohit Singh would have you believe it begins in Fiji, but in reality, the first steps of his boxing career would take place in Auckland, New Zealand. A local boxing promoter putting together a low-level professional fight card was approached with an unusual offer. A boxer with significant pro experience in Fiji was offering to fight on his card for free, and even better, he had his opponent already lined up and would cover his opponent's fee also, allowing the promoter to add a heavyweight bout to his card at a cost of $0. The boxer coming over from Fiji was a man by the name of Rohit Singh. Standing at 6'3" and carrying significant weight, he looked the part of a heavyweight, and he brought with him press clippings and claims of a purported 11-0 record from his time boxing in Fiji. Unsurprisingly, given it would cost him nothing, the promoter agreed to add Rohit Singh to his fight card, unaware that this event would prove to be the first step on the road to one of boxing's most bizarre cons. On fight night, the signs that things weren't as they should be were obvious pretty quickly, with Rohit Singh's opponent on the night being a debutante named Anmol Tiger. Tiger, who was competing in a professional bout, strangely opted to keep his t-shirt on for the duration of the fight. But before anyone could ask too many questions, the fight was over. The man billing himself as the KO King secured the knockout with a single punch to the body of Anmol Tiger, who despite his best efforts wasn't able to make it back to his feet after such a ferocious blow. In the only video of this fight on YouTube, the uploader, who I'm almost certain is Rohit Singh, decides to blast Eye of the Tiger over the top of the audio, but you can still hear audience members openly laughing at the pathetically rigged fight that they just witnessed. The fight was a short, first-round knockout, but even this brief glimpse of the
Bro, this does not even look proper. I'm sorry, bro. It does not even look real. Just fake as hell. Epic Games. Okay, anyways, yeah. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, mm. Anyways, yeah. Okay, continue browsing. Okay, boom.
The boxing skills of Rohit Singh was enough to know two things. One,
He's
he was not as
shit.
good as he was claiming to be, and two, he had clearly paid off his
Yo, listen. What the heck is this? Looks like a sparring
opponent
match.
to take a dive. But perhaps now with a professional win on his record, the man
Who's that bootleg? What's the name? Bootleg. That name. Mike Tyson.
got on what he wanted from the sport and would quit while he was ahead, leaving his boxing exploits as a fun story that he could embellish to impress friends. But no, Rohit Singh had no intention of walking away from boxing. In fact, he was just getting started, and the story would only... Rohit Singh had no intention of walking away from boxing. In fact, he was just getting started, and the story would only get more ridiculous from here, as Rohit Singh marched onwards to heavyweight glory. Unfortunately for him, his path to heavyweight boxing glory was being blocked by the toughest opponent a fake record fraud will ever face, combat sports record keepers. Rohit Singh was claiming to have racked up double-digit wins prior to moving to New Zealand, but the reality was far different. Initially, Rohit Singh had been successful in getting his fraudulent Fijian fights onto his BoxRec record, thanks to the lack of scrutiny applied to the small Fijian boxing scene, similar to how Askar Majarov had exploited the lack of oversight on the Ukrainian regional MMA scene to get his fake fights onto his record. But Rohit Singh got cocky and he decided to push his luck, attempting to add 2 fake wins in Australia to pad his record even further. But Rohit Singh's misfortune was that the BoxRec official due to add these fights to his record was a man who happened to have been a spectator at both of the events Rohit was claiming to have fought at, and the record keeper knew for a fact that Rohit Singh had fought at neither card and was lying. The discovery of this attempted fraud encouraged higher scrutiny on the previously accepted Fijian wins, and before long it was established that most, and probably all, of Rohit Singh's Fiji wins were complete and utter fiction, leading BoxRec to take the decision to delete all of his wins from both Fiji and Australia from his record. This enraged Rohit Singh, who emailed BoxRec several times to let them know that God would punish them for trying to ruin his career, but this surprisingly did not change their mind. Despite his fights getting deleted, Rohit Singh would never stop claiming them as real, but moving forward, he would turn his focus to real bouts with real footage, but with entirely predetermined outcomes. The fact that most of his fights moving forward would have fight footage would later prove to be a massive issue for him, as he is comically bad at coordinating rigged fights and making them look somewhat convincing. 1 month after his epic war with Anmol Tiger, Rohit Singh was back in the ring and again fighting another debutant opponent in Patrick Wise. Much like his first fight, Singh's opponent went down ridiculously easy and to audible laughs from those in the crowd, with a visibly unimpressed referee waving off the fight after counting to just 2 to speed up getting the clowns out of the ring. Much like we saw in the case of Sumit Kumar, the opponent on the night would never fight again, but Rohit Singh, however, kept going, with another bout a month later and somehow at the same venue. I'd have thought he would have gotten himself blacklisted from the venue, but no, with his offer of fighting for free and already having a hand-picked opponent lined up, Rohit Singh was back, although not without confusion over who the opponent actually was. The ring announcer named the opponent on the night as Alex Benjamino.
Real boxer?
But the official BoxRec submission claimed the opponent on the night was actually a man named Richard Beniamina, a legitimate kickboxer with 1 previous boxing bout on his record. It appears that Richard's identity may have been stolen in a weird attempt to add some legitimacy to the bout, however much legitimacy you get from beating an 0-1 boxer instead of a debutant. The real Richard Beniamina was a middleweight of Polynesian descent, but the one who turned up to fight Rohit Singh was north of 100 kilos and suspiciously South Asian looking. Even by the low standards of his first 2 fights, this fight is appalling, with the fake Beniamina falling to Rohit Singh's first real attack.
Bro. That is so...
This fight is appalling, with the fake Beniamina falling to Rohit
uppercut. Maybe that would be actually look good.
Singh's first real attack, a weak combination of hooks to the body that apparently dealt enough damage that Beniamina was unable to beat the ref's count, becoming the 3rd straight victim of Rohit Singh not to make it out of the first round. His record was now 3-0, but Rohit Singh continued to cling on to his fake Fijian wins, telling people he was an undefeated heavyweight boxing prodigy and on his way to securing a mega fight, all as part of his quest to become India's first ever heavyweight boxing champion. Promoters hearing this talk were quick to offer Singh the chance to step up in competition and fight a non-handpicked opponent, but any offers for real fights were rejected out of hand by Singh, who wanted no part of any fight with an opponent who couldn't be bought off. Instead of fighting a legitimate, ranked New Zealand heavyweight, Rohit Singh would give the fans what they had been begging for, with the hotly anticipated rematch against the legendary Anmol Tiger. But this fight, I am genuinely at a loss for words in trying to understand what happened and what their plan was, so any help in the comments is appreciated. Given Rohit Singh had absolutely steamrolled the Tiger in their enthralling first fight, you might be expecting the same fight to play out again, but you'd actually be mistaken. For reasons that I do not understand, Anmol Tiger lands a devastating 1-2 combo onto Rohit Singh with so much power that it inexplicably causes the KO King's legs to give way, sending him to the floor. Unfortunately for Rohit Singh, his reaction is so delayed and embarrassingly fake that the ref just decides so much power that it inexplicably causes the KO King's legs to give way, sending him to the floor. Unfortunately for Rohit Singh, Tiger lands a fight to play out.
Which one is it?
Absolutely steamrolled the Tiger in their enthralling first fight. You might be expecting the same fight to play out again, but you'd actually be mistaken. For reasons that I do not understand, Anmol Tiger lands a devastating 1-2 combo onto Rohit Singh with so much power that it inexplicably causes the KO King's legs to give way, sending him to the floor.
Yeah, what's that? What is it? Yeah, Jack came up there after Daisy told his phone. He went to an actual quote. The lady kicked him up. But for a whole year, like $100. Hopefully, a naked doesn't come and ask him. Don't hungry. That I couldn't give you. So. So make you see. Even though I took this before I even made my ex move, people wouldn't let my nigga. We got the spinning up before I even put my head. Looking on the table. That's slow.
Unfortunately for Rohit Singh,
Anyways.
his reaction is so delayed and embarrassingly fake that the ref just decided to start counting Singh out, forcing him to rise to his feet to avoid a stoppage defeat. The fight restarts and the pair exchange again before Rohit Singh again throws himself to the floor to feign a leg.
Turn it off and restart it or press.
Injury. At this point, the ref had clearly seen enough and decided to put them both out of their misery by waving off the fight, with the embarrassing bout being recorded as a no contest. But this bout just makes absolutely no sense to me. What was the game plan here? Given Rohit Singh stood up to beat the count after his first fake fall, it's clear he didn't want to get a loss on his record. But why bother going through the hassle of setting up a fight just to get a no contest? I've legitimately thought long and hard about what their motive might have been, but I can't come up with anything that makes sense. But with the bout ruled as a no contest, Rohit Singh maintained his unbeaten record and went back to disgracing himself in front of a live audience just 1 month later, somehow fully recovering from the devastating leg injury that he'd suffered. The next victim on the list was Maruf Ali, a fighter who just so happened to be another South Asian fighter making his debut, and the pair would combine for a legitimately
South Asian. Can you pick someone else?
Dreadful fake knockout. Ali, no relation to Muhammad Ali clearly, throws a straight punch only to get hit by Rohit Singh's mind freeze ability, leaving him unable to pull his hand back. Rohit Singh then
What I'm talking about? How the hell do you dodge it or block it? That just goes in place. Like you was Shanks or something.
delivers a devastating hook to send Ali flying to the canvas with no hope of recovery after tasting the KO King's unparalleled power. Yet another first round knockout for the GOAT. But it was at this point, with his official record at 4-0, that Rohit Singh began running into problems, with the whispers and video evidence of his embarrassingly bad fake boxing career doing the rounds in the New Zealand boxing community, leading promoters to steer clear of giving Rohit Singh the opportunity to defile one of their fight cards with his rigged fights against his hand-picked opponents. So with opportunities in New Zealand now drying up thanks to the jealous haters, Rohit Singh would pack his bags and head for Thailand. But not for beaches and ladyboys, Rohit Singh was going to Thailand to win a title. And not just any title, he had his sights set on the WBF Asia Pacific heavyweight title, with his first ever 12-round fight against a legitimate opponent lined up. Yes, despite being just 4-0 officially, and with all of his bouts being rigged fights with video evidence, Rohit Singh was able to secure a fight for a title belt sanctioned by the World Boxing Federation. But his opponent in Iobi Ladua was not just a random...
Good game, bro. 12 wins.
South Asian bloke picked off the street making his debut. He was a legitimate, albeit distinctly average boxer with a 12-12 record. And while that doesn't jump off the page as impressive, he was significantly more experienced than all of Rohit's previous opponents put together, and he would seemingly have the skills to give Rohit Singh an actual fight and perhaps the beating he deserved. Instead of justice, however, we instead got yet another pathetically rigged bout. And this bout being rigged is not even a debate, as Iobi Ladua would openly admit to the Stuff New Zealand that he was paid off. Iobi was dropped early in round 1 by Rohit's signature hooks to the body, but got up only to get dropped by another combination of pathetic hooks that rendered him unable to beat the ref's count in a truly laughable fight. There is rigging fights, and then there is this, where you put such little effort into hiding it that you're just insulting everyone involved with the fight, and especially the paying audience. When contacted by The Stuff, Iobi Ladua was not shy about admitting that he was paid to lose the fight, even disclosing that Rohit Singh had promised him around $1,100 for the loss, but he only ended up paying half before cutting off contact with Ladua and disappearing. And while he got scammed by Rohit Singh, I'm not sure that I have much sympathy for Ladua there. Ladua had asked Singh if they could stretch the bout out for at least 4 rounds, but Singh had insisted that the fight must end in the first round, which resulted in the abysmally bad throw job witnessed here. With a WBF belt secured, Rohit Singh began to enjoy some of the status that he'd been able to accumulate thanks to his fake fights, declaring himself proudly as the first ever Indian heavyweight boxing world champion, despite the fact that his belt was a regional one. Remarkably,
Experience like billionaires or something? Like what?
he even managed to con his way into attending a Legends of Boxing function thrown in California by another one of boxing's most prestigious sanctioning bodies, the WBC. He was honored with a medal and a certificate of recognition, affirming him as the world's first ever Indian heavyweight champion of the world. Things got even better for Singh, as he was now also added to the WBO's official Asia-Pacific heavyweight rankings at rank number 11, despite having never had a legitimate fight his entire career. But with the accolades piling up, Rohit Singh's activity would suspiciously dry up, with no fights for almost 2 years, with his appalling reputation in New Zealand no doubt contributing to this period of inactivity. Had Rohit Singh gotten all he'd wanted from boxing and felt that he'd taken the grift as far as he could, he would surprisingly resurface and return to the ring in 2014, opting to begin fighting in Mexico of all places, a boxing scene with enough bad actors and con men willing to throw fights if the money was right. Unfortunately, I can't find video of any of Rohit Singh's Mexican fights, but he would fight once in June 2014, polishing off a Mexican debutante before taking 3 fights in Mexico across 2015, of course winning all 3 bouts. While I don't know for sure that these bouts actually occurred given the lack of video evidence, they are listed on BoxRec, and interestingly, all 3 of his 2015 fights would go past the first round.
I don't know how he got exposed for cheating.
The first time that had ever happened in his career. Of those 3 opponents, 2 of them had never won a fight and they had a combined 5 defeats between them. But the other opponent, Antonio Duarte, brought to the bout a comparably impressive record of 5 wins and 5 defeats. But that experience was still not enough to make him a match for the KO King, and he was dispatched via TKO in round 2. No doubt paid off to do so, and never fighting again after the bout. With Rohit Singh's verified record now standing at 9-0, the question remained of whether he would continue the grift and could actually land the big money fight that he'd been attempting to manipulate his way towards. But attempts to find an opponent with a decent reputation who was also willing to be paid to lose proved difficult, with leaked Facebook messages showing Rohit's eagerness to rig a fight against someone with enough cachet in the boxing world that he might be able to score a big fight off the back of beating them. But with these attempts being unsuccessful, a few years would pass with no fight announcements, until suddenly in 2019, Rohit Singh's UK debut was announced, with a bout in Manchester against Lee Carter, a fighter with a record of 1 win and 5 defeats at the time of the announcement. The promotional poster billed Rohit Singh as India's first heavyweight world champion, and the most striking part of the poster is the fact that they were planning on charging 40 quid for general admission tickets. Imagine paying the price of a Premier League football ticket to watch Rohit Singh throw god-awful hooks to the body until his opponent decides to take the knee and quit. I would be absolutely raging. Luckily for the good people of Manchester, the promoter would eventually do a bit more research into Rohit Singh, find his fight videos, realise the horrific mistake he was about to make, and quickly cancelled the bout. And with that cancellation, the glittering boxing career of Rohit Singh was done and dusted, with the KO King never fighting again, and whatever scheme he was plotting to try and trick his way into a title shot died a death thanks to his terrible reputation and the embarrassing fight footage, making it so that no promoter of any real repute would go near him. The entire Rohit Singh saga is littered with events that make no sense. Was he not aware of how bad his fights looked? Why did he decide to fake an injury in the Animal Tiger rematch? Did he really think that he could fool his way into a big money fight? Why of all the ways to make money did he think spending years faking a boxing career was the best way to do it? I'm not sure we will ever be able to answer.
I got an interview with him. It's a fake it till you make it guy.
all of these questions or understand what was going through his head at the time. But Rose
the fake it till you make it quote to heart. So he taught. Wait, if he even got to a big fight, what's he gonna do? Rig it again? Let's say he got to Tommy Fury level off faking fight. What will happen next? Like, what's gonna happen next? He's gonna fight Mike Tyson. I don't know if they're in the same weight class, but he's gonna fight him. Eventually lose. Oh yeah, I remember boxing. You get like 100K, depending on how much like things you do. Can go up to like a mil.
hit Singh's
So he was probably planning on making a mil.
legendarily bad lying and faking might be the single worst case of fake fighting I have covered on this channel. And he takes his place alongside the likes of Askar Majarov and George Kawagi as a combat sports bandit and a fake record fraud. The end. If you got this far, thank you so much.
Yeah, bro. It was actually nice. Can't even lie to you.